We are tracking hurricanes very closely here in the Weather 225 Storm Studios. I'm Joshua Wisel with a quick update on what's going on in the tropics. Now, take a look at this satellite imagery at this massive, now Hurricane Ian that is currently leaving the Caribbean Sea, making its way closer to the Gulf of Mexico and western Florida coast. This is expected to be a major Category 3, Category 4 storm in the following days. So, I'm going to take this off real quick and go to our tropical tools and show you just what the track is saying. The track has this moving into western Florida and potentially into parts of the Florida panhandle. Now, there is some big differences, and I'm going to show you with the forecast model tools here in a second when they load, but there is a few disagreements with the models, and this morning's runs show that the storm could have more of an easterly track, so we're keeping a very close eye on this. If that's true, we could have a potentially major hurricane making landfall into the Tampa Bay area here over the next couple of days, likely by Wednesday. So here's a look at the latest path. That path has it making more of a landfall near the Gainesville, Florida area. Now, Gainesville is not on the coast. We know that, but it's more for those coastal areas near there, if you're familiar with that area. Further to the south, and actually let me take off all these tracks real quick, we do have hurricane watch in effect for the Tampa Bay coast. This goes all the way to the south, where we have a tropical storm watch in effect, in addition to that hurricane watch for coastal areas, as well as a storm surge watch for most of the south and southwestern Florida coast. And then for Key West, we have tropical storm warnings, but likely we will see this be upgraded to a hurricane warning in the next 48 hours or so, just because we do have that hurricane making its way eventually closer as a potential major hurricane, Category 3, Category 4 type hurricane. So that's what we got going on there. If you live along the western Florida coast, southern Florida coast, Florida Keys, make sure that you're staying tuned to local forecasters for the very latest information. We want to make sure that you have the most updated and most accurate information for you, because we know it's just that time of year with the tropics. We want to make sure that you're prepared, you know how to prepare, and make sure that you are staying tuned to local officials as well in the following days, just because we do have this potential major hurricane making its way closer to portions of the coastal United States, coastal Florida. We just want to make sure that you are prepared if this storm were to make its way closer to the coast, as it's looking right now as a major hurricane. There would be flooding concerns, of course, hurricane conditions like damaging to destructive winds, you name it. So we just want to make sure that you're prepared and you're following the most accurate and most reliable information from trusted sources, just because the forecast for this is probably going to change over the next 24 to 48 hours with not only strength, but also exact path. We've seen this kind of wobble back and forth, slightly to the west, slightly to the east so far. But right now, if you're in Tampa, you need to be keeping a very close eye on this storm, just to let you know, because regardless of if this were to make landfall or if this were to just go a little bit to the north, you're still going to be dealing with potentially major conditions with a major hurricane that would be skimming the coast or making its way closer to you or landfall near you. So that's a look at what we have going on right now. This isn't to make you fearful. Just stay tuned to the local officials. Make sure that you have a plan in place in case you have to act if this hurricane were to make its way closer to there. And like we said, follow the National Hurricane Center. They're the ones that issue these forecasts, these paths. They're the ones with the aircraft that collects the data to let us know how to have a more accurate forecast for these things. They're the ones that issue the advisories. Stay tuned to your local National Weather Service office. We have a post on our website in our forecast post section. That's our last tropical update. We have a list of the National Weather Service offices in the path of the storm, so you know who to get your information from as well. And of course, stay tuned to us for the latest updates. We're going to move away from this real quick and just do a brief overview of the other activity in the tropics before we end this. We have another system forming potentially in the next 24 to 48 hours here in the central Atlantic. This storm, it's a cluster of storms trying to get its act together and organize. We'll be keeping a close eye on this in the coming days. But really, the main system, of course, that is going to cause likely some type of impact to the United States viewing area is Ian. But further to the west, we also have this moderate risk for development here off the coast of western Mexico and the western central American coast. This is a cluster of storms we've been watching. It has had a low chance for development over the past couple of days. Now it's more of a moderate risk, but if anything were to develop with this, it would make its way further to the west and away from any coastal areas. So that's a look at the tropics. Like we said, stay tuned to local forecasters for the latest information. And of course, stay tuned to us for the latest information as well. Have a good day.